My friends, hello. Today we're going to talk about vocal inflection and being more memorable. Boring, right? Oh my gosh. So I remember I was in a stats class when I was an undergraduate student, and there was a person who literally read, it was a 600 person class, and they literally read off of their notes. This was a professor who'd been doing this for like 20 years. They should have had it memorized, reading off their piece of paper in front of 600 students while all of us were bored or falling asleep or screwing around on our computers, whatever it was. Boring. So you've been a part of all these presentations that are awful. You've been a part of them before. You may have even led them yourself. With Zoom now, we're all doing this. And actually, one of the things that's cool about Zoom is it gives us the opportunity to present and have our notes available to us. Like, you don't even know if I have notes hiding behind my camera. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. You don't know. But the difference is how we present, how we're doing what we do in such a way that makes us more engaging. One of the easiest ways that you can do this is by doing what I'm doing right now. Start this video over, and you'll catch multiple changes in the inflection of my voice, and the speed, and the way in which I talk, and the energy and the enthusiasm. What happens when we're modulating ourselves in this way is it keeps people's brains, the listeners' brains, it keeps it like, oh, I gotta pay attention here because something's changing. When we slow down, it's clear to people that we're talking about something serious and important. And when we speed up, it shows how excited we are and how important this topic is, and people really should listen because this thing is great. You don't have to be like that stats professor that I had. You don't. Even if you feel like you're the worst presenter in the world, and some people really don't like presenting. Even if you feel like you're a poor presenter, you don't have to be boring. You don't have to read off your notes. And for God's sakes, don't use a PowerPoint that has a billion words and then just read off of it, because that is super boring. Just send me an email. I don't even care what you're talking about. Don't waste my time if you're going to read off a PowerPoint slide. I've been doing a series of virtual talks all over the country. It's usually about 30 minutes. I have a couple bullet points for myself, and that's it. Like, literally, that's it. Because what we do is we tell stories to people. People pay attention when we tell stories. I've talked about this before in some of my other videos. If you want to be more memorable, you tell stories, because we are a species of storytellers. That's how we transmitted information before written word. We transmitted from generation to generation orally. So we have it wired in our brains to be drawn to stories. That's why we like books. That's why we like movies, because we're drawn to storytelling. When you tell a story and modulate your voice, you will become dramatically more impactful. And you can still cheat by having your notes. You're still welcome to have your PowerPoints for, if you need it. You're still welcome to have the bullet points for yourself so that you don't lose track of what you're talking about. But you don't need to read every single word. You just don't. Because if you're perfect and if you're scripted, I'll tell you what, you're boring. You are not an actor. And if you are, then great. I'd like to know which actor is paying attention to these videos. That'd be really awesome, because I'd like them to share these with more people. If you're not an actor, don't try to pretend that you need to memorize your lines, and certainly don't read them. Instead, give yourself a couple bullet points, modulate your energy and your voice, and people will be more entertained and more excited. You don't need a million slides. You don't need anything more than yourself. You are all you need to be memorable and exciting and have people learn what you have to share.